Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachael on this Wednesday, the 20th of January. Sorry, the computer keeps moving. My dog is laying against the table and shifting in his sleep. This morning, I have just come from watching the inauguration of President Biden and and Vice President Harris, and I am overwhelmed, unexpectedly overwhelmed by what I have witnessed through the television and what I'm feeling. Last night on Facebook, I noticed somebody had posted that yesterday was the last day there will ever the last day that there had never been a female vice president. The last day that there will never have been a female vice president. This is a changed day. This is a day when the face of politics in the United States, indeed in the world, has changed significantly. I don't know whether you know this or not, but I spent my undergrad at Brescia College. It is now called Brescia University College at Western University. When I went through, it was Brescia College at University of Western Ontario. But the big thing about you need to know about Brescia, it was and it continues to be the only all women's university college in Canada. And I don't think I realized it at the time at 19 years old, but being in an environment where all of the students, all of the full-time students were women, and nobody thinking anything of it, really has had a profound impact on my life. Now, there were lots of students, male students in our classes. There were male students, obviously, in the classes I took over at King's and at Western. At Brescia, when we gathered as a community, we gathered as a female community. And there's something important about that. And I applaud them for continuing that tradition. And I hope that it will continue for many, many years to come. Because it helps to raise up a strong generation of young women of all ages really, who learn in an atmosphere that is no longer really available. Now, that being said, I know that there might be some who would say that's not right. We get angry when there's all men's colleges and things like that, and people are up in arms about that. I don't think personally that we should close down men's clubs and say that men only things should not happen. I think that it's important to recognize that men are different than women. Oh, really? Who knew? But that we each need to celebrate those things that make us who we are as different people. It's when we say that you're not good enough or you're not appropriate to be in my club, in my school, that we start having problems. And it's when we start saying that if you're from that club, then you don't belong on that board of directors or in that position in the government or in the military or in the church or name the place. We need to recognize that God created us as men and women and people who are trans and people who have different ideas, and God created us as who we are. And it's important that we not throw that away in figuring out how we discover how God has called us then to come together. I believe that we are more mosaic than melting pot. I like thinking of us as a tapestry or a puzzle. A puzzle cannot be completed until every single piece, which is individually shaped, is placed in that puzzle. If there's one hole or one edge left open, the puzzle is not complete. The same thing with the tapestry. Tapestries or rugs are not made of one single kind of yarn or thread. They are interwoven and different colors and textures are created to create a picture. If you look at it from the back, it looks like a right mess. But when you turn it over to see the front, you see an amazing, beautiful picture that is only complete when every single part of that pattern is pulled together. Flip it over and it looks like a hot mess. And that's okay. That's allowed. But when you turn it over to where what it's supposed to look like from the other side, it is absolutely beautiful. And that's what I believe God did with humanity. It's okay that we are different. It's okay that we bring different things to the table, because in bringing all of these things, the different perspectives to the table, to the conversation, we fill in blanks that are needed to be filled in so that we can see the whole picture. God is the only one who can see the whole picture of creation. But when we come to the table and place our own truth, I'm not suggesting truth is relative, but our own, what we have lived, our own experience on the table, and our ideas and our perspectives, and then someone else does, and someone else does, and someone over here does, we begin to fill in those parts of the tapestry pattern, or the puzzles of the pieces of the puzzle. We begin to see a glimpse of what God sees when God looks upon all of his creation. Now, I'd love to say that we are already there, that Kamala Harris being the vice president is the end of it. It's all done, glass ceiling broken, we're all good. The truth is, we're not. I'm a gentle person, and I'm not really cynical, but I know and I have experienced some pretty serious sexism in my own job, in my own career in the church. There are many people, not all men, some women, who do believe that women should not be priests. And they have the right to hold that opinion. And they probably have good reasons for holding that opinion. But that is not mine to worry about. Mine is to take forward with me the gifts that God has given me as a woman into the priesthood and anything else I do in my life, to share them with integrity, with hope, with grace, with humility. And little bit by little bit, we might find that if we all do that, men and women doing the same things, bringing the same things of ourselves into the picture, we might find that those people who are so against us, whatever us might be, that when they see us living in integrity and humility and peace and grace and with intention and dignity and treating them the same, their own worldviews might change, their own sense of maybe this is what God is calling us to might change. Today, the world was able to witness a strong, intelligent, successful woman stand up and take the oath of office to become the second most powerful person in the United States of America. Regardless of how we feel about American politics, or whether we're on the Republican Democrat side or on the Trump side or the Biden side, whatever that is, we all have to recognize that today something changed. Something that allows children, boys and girls, to look up and say, it's possible. No longer is there no female person. No longer is there no person of color. No longer is there no person who has a different background than the rest of name your group in place, in power. By electing Kamala Harris as the Vice President of the United States, the people have said, we are not electing a female. We are not electing someone who has Indian and Jamaican blood. We are not electing a brown-skinned or black-skinned person. We are electing a qualified individual who has given of herself and is willing to dedicate her life to her country. Yay, Kamala. Good for you. And good for all of the people who come after her. The children who will be growing up thinking, not maybe I might be able to do that, or definitely not thinking I can't ever do that, but thinking in terms of there's another thing that I can do. The world is open up for me. I can do anything that I put my mind to. A good thing has happened today for all of humanity, and a wonderful thing has happened for women. We aren't there yet in our society, even in Canadian society. We're not there yet in the church, even though we have women bishops and we are lots of women priests. We still have work to do. So together, men and women, members of churches, members of communities, let's work together to recognize the humanity of every person who reaches out and says, I think I'm called to, will you help me get there? Let's help each other get there, folks. Let's help each other do what God has called us to do. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the sunshine. Wear your mask if you have to go out. Give thanks to God for the blessings in your life. And I'll see you tomorrow with Church at Home with Rachael. God bless.